Ladies and gentlemen, the comprehensive THORnews coverage of soon-to-be catastrophic Category 4 Hurricane Laura continues, and this thing is a monster that is continuing to strengthen. We're looking at 40-foot waves, 15 inches of rain, over 20 feet of storm surge, and winds up to 150 miles an hour sustained, and possibly 175 to 180 mile per hour wind gusts. And I believe this thing still has a chance to get to Category 5, but at this point the category is irrelevant. Let us just consider it a Category 2020 storm, and I'm sorry to inform you, we will probably get more of them, as we have not reached peak hurricane season. That is still over 2 weeks away, so get prepared. But if you are in the impact zones of Louisiana and East Texas, I super duper mega highly recommend you evacuate. I cannot ever remember a time where storm surge flooding was predicted 30 to 40 miles inland. So that would be like if a giant wave washed over the land for 30 or 40 miles. It is the stuff that they show in disaster movies. So if you are in the red areas, I highly recommend you evacuate. This storm is absolutely no joke, and in some spots it will get 18 inches of rain and tornadoes. We are talking a projected 150 miles an hour at landfall, and then it will decrease, but you're still getting like almost 100 miles per hour, and then 86 for miles and miles and miles up into its path. The amount of water this thing is going to push around is going to be incredible and cause major problems. And this will be one of those storms that is a coastal carver, where it will literally rearrange some of the terrain and ground. So if you are in these parts of Louisiana or East Texas and you have not evacuated in like this dome, you've still got about 8 hours before this thing makes landfall. So if you hadn't gone yet, I highly recommend you go. I mean, this is going to be one of the most incredible storms we've seen in modern era. And not only that, it is going to make and have massive effects, massive rain, massive wind, massive power outages, all the way up into the north, almost even into Canada. And then it will meet up with two other storm systems to push out here and create an event in the northeast. But we will cover that later. And as I mentioned a couple days ago, we've got another hurricane coming on the 3rd. So the other half of my unofficial weather crime prevention duo, Cranky Weather Guy, who is my number one go-to guy for hurricane turns, because I'm bad at hurricane turns and I hate hurricane turns, and I always have a miserable time during hurricane turns. He is pretty much guaranteed and said now that it is on rails. It is sticking on the track. He has predicted the entire time, pretty much at the Texas-Louisiana border, which will mean that if that is correct, that Houston will not get any of the major impacts, though I'm sure there will be some storm surge into Houston. We'll get like 40 mile per hour wind gusts, and I still think we will get a lot of heavy rain. But in case some crazy never before thing happened, I would still keep watching this and be ready, Houston. Great job, Cranky. And some sobering words for the Vermilion Parish Sheriff. Those choosing to stay and face this very dangerous storm must understand that rescue efforts cannot and will not begin until after storm and surge has passed and it is safe to do so. Please evacuate, and if you choose to stay and we can't get to you, write your name, address, social security number, and next of kin and put it in a Ziploc bag next to your pocket. We're praying that it does not. So This is super, super mega high alert. And if you are in the mega danger zones, I, as your planetary defense commander, highly recommend you evacuate. This thing is an absolute beast, a monster, and a Category 2020 storm. And I regret to inform you that we could easily get hit by 3 to 5 or 6 more hurricanes before hurricane season ends. It's still got 3 months and a week. And we aren't even to peak hurricane season, which is September 10th. So we've got 2 weeks before we even get to the peak. And so now is a great time for all of Americans to work together to keep supply chains running, people fed, lights on, people in their homes. Stop fighting about stupid-ass politics. Politics is bullshit, bro. And for several months now, I've been warning that as bad as 2020 has been, September and October are going to be the worst months on almost every single level. So I highly recommend you be as cool, smart, and as kind as possible. And I want to thank everybody out there on the Weather Twitter team, everybody out there who is cool, everybody out there who is helping us keep it together. And we're in for definitely a very rough battle of the next 50 days. And the storm is still strengthening. It's got about 8 hours before landfall. I would definitely not be surprised to see it be a Category 5, but I've said it could be a Category 5 for like 2 weeks now. So I'm sending my love and prayers to all those in the line of fire in East Texas and in Louisiana. May God keep you safe. Godspeed, good luck, and I will keep you guys posted. God bless everyone.